What is up guys, Andy Forest Team Runner here, back with another video, and today we're talking all about speed. Today is the speed test for Atreyu shoe, the Artist, and the Puma Liberate Nitro. So today it's all about the need for speed. Today we're going to be sitting down and going through how the Atreyu Artist and how the Puma Liberate Nitro have done on their speed test. Back on Tuesday, we ended up getting, what did we do? We did the speed test in the Liberate Nitro, which I'll show you some footage of very shortly. And today it's all about Atreyu's shoe, the Artist. Today we have 16 by 200 meters at 520 a minute float, and then 400 meters at 6 flat and a minute float. I'll explain more about why paces and things if you subscribe to the channel and check out this weekend's training vlog that's going out. Week 1 is going live this weekend. I'm super excited to bring that series back, but today is all about the speed. So that's what today's session is all about, and we're going to see how the Atreyus get on. Tuesday's session, is coming back to me with 5 by 2 minutes at 520s, and then 5 by 1 minute at 510s, and then 5 by 30 seconds fast. So the Pumas really had it in them to go fast. But how did they perform? We'll talk about that very shortly. I'll show you a few clips right now, and you can see a bit of action there. So that was Tuesday's session, so that was really good. Just did that with Lee and it was such great fun. Only a few clips, but you get the gist. As I said, if you subscribe to the channel and check out the training series on the weekend, you'll see more about how that workout went. We're just today talking about how the shoes perform with speed. So I'm here and we're going to be zipping up and down here, getting this speed workout done for the Atreyu Artist. So without further ado, let's get on with this, and then once we're done, I'll see you back at home to talk all about how they performed. So there we go, we just wrapped up a 13-mile run in the Artist. 10 miles of that 13 was session related. So this has had a really good speed test, meaning we've now completed the speed test in both the Liberate Nitro and the Artist. So what I want to do today is sit down and go through with you how both of these shoes have performed during the speed test and give you kind of an overall summary now. Now I kind of know really where I'm at with both these shoes. 27 miles in this one, 31 in this one, plenty more to come in both. Super exciting results from both shoes, if I'm completely honest with you, but we'll kickstart with the Puma. So I had high hopes leading into the speed test for the Puma Liberate Nitro. Now for me, I tested this thing easy and I tested it moderate before I ended up doing the speed test. And for those of you who are new to the channel, I do love to test my shoes more than just giving them the first impressions. I do love to try and do a long run test or a speed run test if applicable. This shoe was 100% going to fall into that speed run test category. For a long run, I'm probably going to avoid doing that because this isn't a shoe that I'm going to want to take on a long run, but speed test, this thing needed it. So we did an easy run first off. It felt great, but I knew it wasn't this shoe's sweet spot. So I took it out on a moderate run for the second run, and it really started to come into its own. Lightweight, poppy, that nitrogen infused midsole that I'm so used to in the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. As a summary from the previous video, Pegasus Turbo upper and profile shoe, Brooks Hyperion Tempo, rubber outsole, nitrogen infused midsole and rubber outsole. Those two shoes mashed together is as best as I can explain this shoe, and both brilliant shoes, so that combination was great. But I knew after the moderate run this thing had an extra gear, and I can confirm that after, just to clarify, doing 5 by 2 minutes at 520 pace, 5 by 1 minute at 510 per mile pace, and then 5 by 30 seconds fast, that this shoe is currently in my shoe rotation going to be, for the foreseeable future until I get any more speed shoes in for testing, my #1 speed shoe. It's as simple as that. There is nothing more to it. This thing was phenomenal. It disappeared on foot. It is lightweight. It is poppy. It is everything I need a running shoe to be when I'm doing those speed intervals. Not only that, but I feel like my cadence is faster. I feel like my form is good. I feel like, because it's lighter on foot, I feel like my legs are turning over quicker, and for someone tall like me, that's such a really important thing. You guys know, if you follow the training series, cadence is something I'm always working on, and I'm certainly going to be doing a lot of analysis on my cadence in this shoe over the coming weeks as I use them, because I feel, I might not be, but I feel a lot faster, and I feel like I'm turning my legs over quicker in this thing. So I will be keeping an eye on that, and I will kind of report back probably in the training series once I've got a few more speed tests in this thing. But overall, I have to say, this thing shone like an absolute diamond. It was fantastic, and I really, to be honest with you, I had high expectations. It met them and exceeded them. So let's shift our attention back over to the artist. So I did a great first long run, progression run in this shoe, 14 miles straight off the bat, slower than moderate pace, faster than moderate pace, and then down to marathon pace. And I was really loving this shoe and what it could do. But I was rather skeptical, if I'm honest with you, today going into the workout. These shorter, sharper intervals, again, so for clarification, 16 times 200 meters at 5:20 pace with a 1 minute float, and then 400 meters at 6 flat pace with a 1 minute float times 16. So it ended up being a 10-mile workout. And I was a bit nervous. You can see completely, let me just grab the Puma. You can see straight away from the profile of both of these shoes, this one screams speed day shoe, this one screams long distance marathon racer. Look at the stack height on this thing. This is basically, it's like a super shoe. Well, it is a super shoe with a carbon plate. And I was kind of thinking, are the shorter distance intervals going to be great for this shoe? And Again, I was absolutely blown away with the performance of this shoe. Today's workout felt effortless. Now, I am coming off the back of a really good solid training block. I am now moving swiftly into the next block after a really solid recovery and a nice relaxing couple of weeks doing my own thing of low miles, 30 to 35 miles a week for a couple of weeks. And this week is the first week now, we're now ramping it back up. And I feel, because I've had such a smooth transition out from my marathon block into this now half marathon block, I feel fitter than ever, and I'm really delighted with that fitness. But I also can't overlook just how good this thing was today. It again felt light underfoot, it felt poppy, it felt snappy, something I did not expect from the shoe, because when you do a progression run, you sometimes get towards the end and you might, because you're already fatigued, getting to those paces you expect to hit kind of feel harder than they do. So although I was delighted to hit the 6 flat pace at the end of the progression run, I really felt like at the time I could go nowhere quicker than 6 flat per mile on that run, on that first run. But today this thing absolutely gobbled up 520s easily, and I even split some 450s and 5 flats for some of the 200 meters, and all the marathon pace ones, which were supposed to be 6 flat, were all 540 to 555 per mile. So I ended up being quicker on the workout, which I'm not saying it's a good thing. I was meant to be sort of trying to be nice and controlled, but this thing just, I felt effortless, it felt effortless, and the shoe performed really good. So it actually dispelled any myth or fear that I had that this shoe should be reserved for those longer race days or those longer Canova workouts that I was doing back in the marathon training series. Actually, I now, if I'm honest with you, wouldn't hesitate to take this thing out on a shorter, sharper distance workout. My Pumas are going to be my number 1, but I wouldn't hesitate to put this at number 2. And actually, for the longer distance, if I was doing more Canova workouts, I wouldn't be surprised if I would reach for this thing every time. I've got to be honest with you, once again today, this shoe delivered. So I'm really delighted with how both of these things have performed on the speed test. So after a bit of a slow start with some of the shoe reviews back earlier in the year, I say slow start, some of the shoes that we chose kind of felt really disappointing. We're really now starting to get into some gems, and we found a couple in these 2 shoes. So once again, a massive thanks to Nick. Nick, if you're watching, for sending this. He's a viewer. He sent this in for the purpose of review. I'm so grateful you've sent this, because as I just said, this is now my number 1 for any shorter, sharper distance work. And I've got to say, this thing equally as good in different ways. Both absolutely fantastic shoes, and I'm delighted now to have both of these in my arsenal going into this half marathon training series. So I kind of feel like I've completed testing in both of these shoes. So the goal now is to put a lot more miles in both of them, start getting these up closer to the 100-mile mark. I have a feeling I'm going to get to it closer in this shoe than this shoe. I'm going to take my time with this one, because I like to use carbon plate shoes a little bit more sparingly, once a week maximum. These type of shoes I use a lot more regularly, but either way, I'm pretty confident both of these things are going to be getting up to the 100-mile mark. And then of course I'll give you another update then as to how their wear and tear is in their performance. But overall, really solid all-round scores for both of these shoes. They've really kind of passed with flying colours. I'm delighted. I have no complaints with either of them. Now that I've taken the Achilles bit off the back of this shoe to stop the heel rub, This thing is an absolute belter of a shoe. This is an absolute gem of a shoe. Both are going to be really, really great. So there we go, testing complete in the Puma Liberate Nitro and the Atreyu shoe, the Artist. Both shoes, as I've just said, fantastic. I can't sing their praises enough. Let me know in the comments below if you've got either of the shoes, how you're finding them, where their sweet spot is, what you love to do with both those shoes. Like, have you got a certain workout pace that both of these shoes slot into for you? I've heard some really positive feedback on both these shoes on my previous videos. Let me know if you're progressing with the shoes, if you're getting more runs in them, and if they're growing on you more, and how you're using them. It'd be great to hear from you. Great to get that discussion going in the comments below. That's it from me today. In the next video you'll see will be the training series. It's back, half marathon training, week 1 coming on Sunday, hopefully. Fingers crossed if I can get it edited and made out in time. I will see you all guys then. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.